Hi, I'm Dina. Whether you're a learner who dreads school, a parent or chosen family member watching your child struggle, or an educator who knows the system isn't working for so many of your students, I am so glad you're here. Because when one person in the learning ecosystem struggles, we all feel it. But when we find solutions together, everyone rises. If you've ever felt like you or your child or your students are struggling against the current in school, like they're working twice as hard just to keep up, this is the place for you. Struggling with learning isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's not a moral failing, and it's not your fault. It's a mismatch between how your brain works and how schools teach. Today, I just want to share one small but mighty shift that can change how it goes and feels. So here's what we're rarely told. Schools were designed for one type of learner, someone who learns by sitting still and working quietly and kind of thinking in straight lines. But most brains don't work that way. And most lives don't follow that straight line. So maybe you need to move to think clearly or talk through ideas out loud. Maybe you learn in spirals, going back to concepts again and again, each time understanding a little bit more. When we don't fit in that narrow mold, we've got lots of life stuff going on, we think we're the problem. But after 20 years of helping thousands of learners, here's what I know: every brain is brilliant. We're usually just measuring the wrong things. So here's that shift that can change everything. Learning isn't something that happens to you, it is something that happens with and for and alongside and through you everywhere. Here's what I mean. Picture your learning ecosystem. Your kitchen table where homework happens, that's a learning space. Your bedtime routine, that's helping your brain consolidate the day's learning. That walk where you decompress, that's when your brain is making connections. Parents, you're not just homework supervisors, you are co regulators. When you stay calm during math meltdown, you're teaching emotional regulation. Learners, you are not grade collectors. You're not marks machines. You are explorers, discovering patterns and testing theories about the world and yourself. Educators, you're not content deliverers, you're guides, creating safety and opening up possibilities. The biggest thing that I've learned as a learning strategist: well being and academic success aren't separate, they're the same thing. A calm nervous system is a learning ready brain, but it's more than that. When you feel safe, you can take intellectual risks. When you feel connected, your brain literally learns better. When you are curious instead of anxious, you remember more. When you trust yourself, you can persist through challenges. Sleep quality affects memory consolidation. Nutrition impacts focus. Movement enhances processing. Relationships create that safety needed for higher order thinking. Joy, actual joy, is what makes learning stick. And when we understand this, things transform. Suddenly, taking breaks isn't giving up, it's strategic. Needing movement isn't problematic. It's how your brain works and calibrates best. What does this look like in real life? Let me share you some things that you can try today. So, first, notice your patterns without judgment. Like, when do you focus best? After movement, when it's quiet, with lo fi background music? There's no right way, there's your way. Start noticing what actually works. Second, build in regulation before frustration. You don't have to wait for things to fall apart. Every 15 minutes, gently check in. Does my body need to move? Do my eyes need a break? Am I breathing? Third, celebrate process over product. Tonight at dinner, instead of "what did you learn?" if you're a parent, you might try "what was hard today and how did you handle it?" Notice how this changes the conversation. This isn't about lowering standards. It's about recognizing that there are multiple paths to excellence, and I want to help you find yours. When the learning ecosystem embraces this approach, here's what often happens. Homework becomes less of a battle. Students discover they're not bad at calculus or bad at physics. They just needed to sketch it out or talk it through. Parents feel less pressure to have all the answers. Teachers see their students differently. Everyone starts sleeping better. And most importantly, learners start trusting their own knowing again. Because here's the beautiful truth. You know what conditions help you learn best. The system just kind of taught you not to trust it. If you're tired of trying to reshape yourself or your child or your student to fit an inflexible system, if you're ready to stop apologizing for learning differences and start working with them, if you want learning to feel less like friction and like that battle and more like growth and expansion and space, you're not asking for too much. You're asking or seeing what's possible of what should have been there all along. This is awakened learning, where different isn't less than, it's essential. Where struggle isn't failure, it's information, it's feedback, and it's where every learner belongs. Your brain isn't broken. The system just wasn't built for your kind of brilliant. And together, students, families, educators, we're creating something better. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing about how you or your child or your student learns that you wish schools understood? Let's normalize learning difference, learning beauty below in the comments. And if this resonated, I'd be honored if you subscribed for more feel-good learning videos that take the stress out of studying while honoring how your brain actually works. Welcome to Awaken Learning. Welcome to learning that goes and feels good.